Okay, man. So I've got the clip in three different just zoom levels. So we got a regular, a little bit more zoomed, and then a pretty close one. The pretty close one's a little fuzzy, but you can still see. So I just wanted you to be able to see just different perspectives and stuff, because it's kind of hard, to look at angles and stuff like that when it's a little bit farther away. So I'm just gonna kind of play through this, and so I'm just gonna let you watch. But all three of the clips, right? I'll do one in regular, and then I'll do slow-mo as well. So I'm just gonna play these for you, so you can watch with a little bit different perspective too. So here we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna roll it back, and I'm gonna put it in slow motion for you. We'll watch all that all the way through. We'll do it at 4 speed, because if we do it at 1/8, it'll take forever. So help that along a little bit. Okay, there we go. A little bit closer. Okay, so there's that finish. We're gonna help it along a little bit. Here we go. Here's a little bit more zoomed in. Okay, so I'm gonna pause that. I'm gonna go back to regular. I'm gonna go back to the beginning. Okay, so let's watch this and kind of analyze it a little bit. Okay, so as you're moving forward, right? Okay, so watch the barrel, okay, and watch kind of your hands, right, and what they do to manipulate the bat, or if your body's kind of more involved. So right now we're just kind of looking to see, like, okay, is the bat being manipulated more by the hands or the body, and just kind of what's that doing, right? So we're just gonna watch from there, right? We'll go back. I'm trying to go as slow as I can. Okay, so then we get here. Okay. Okay, so you see this back arm? I'm going back and forth on it. Right, that's not a whole lot of push off of the ball, right? And so, like, I would imagine you're probably like you feel inconsistent sometimes with your pop and your power, right? And so there's a lot of reasons for that, right? But like, watch. So your back arm. Let me clear this. Clear. Right. So watch your back arm. Okay. There's not a whole lot left to push with, right? Right there. You see, you've got a little bit of action, but not much, right? So that's really gonna be the forearm only, right? Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get into this zone, right? And then watch, it's just gonna be a forearm flexion, right? Right there, right where the elbow is, right? It's kind of pushing, but it's just flexing more than anything, right? So let's watch that on the closer one. Okay, so watch again. Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, here we are. So watch right here. Okay, then we just get a little bit of, go back, just there, right? That's all we're getting once we get to the ball. Okay, and the problem with that is that we're gonna have to be really consistent and perfect with our hands and being able to place it perfectly every single time. And realistically, that's very much impossible, right? Because if we're only using our forearm muscles or our elbows, then it's going to be impossible to, because they're such small muscles, right? It's going to be almost impossible to control the bat perfectly and put it in the exact same spot, right? Okay, so like, I want you to watch. So we've got this. Okay, so I'm going to change that. Okay, so watch that, right? Watch the bat, like back here, okay? Alright, so I'm going to play this forward and watch how where the bat goes, right? Now we want to turn into the zone, right? We want to get into the zone, but you're not in the zone yet, right? You get into the zone like in between here and here. It kind of skips a frame a little bit on me right here, right? But you see how like it's because you don't have like you don't have your body doing all this stuff, right? And so your hands are having to do too much of it, right? I'm not even talking about like the like where the bat's coming in or the flatness of it. Like I'm good with the flatness, right? And we want to be flat so we can match plane and stuff, right? But like look at that right there. So that's all arms. And so essentially when we do that, right, when we get here, we are not using anything. Only things that we're using are these, our forearms, right? So everything pretty much, so from here it's not being used, here and here, right? And so when I say not being used, they're just not being used actively, right? They're stuff is happening, but they're not doing it actively, right? Because the only thing that's actively doing stuff is my hands. Does that make sense? Okay. So what we need to do is, I'm going to back this up, so let's watch it from this view too, okay? So like I'm here, watch those forearms are the only things that really do anything actively, right? And then as you get here, and then like, but you don't feel like you stay on the ball. Like look, you don't stay on the ball very long at all. So I got contact, and then I'm done, right? When normally we want to make contact and then be I want to make contact and then be able to push as far as we can, right? So realistically, you want to still try to be on the ball like right here, right? And so then watch yours. See, so you're here and you're done. You're done right there instead of done there instead of here, which doesn't seem like a big difference, right? But like it really makes a big difference as far as jump on the ball and consistency, right? So what we got to do is we got to get into your chest, right? And what we want is this right here, okay? And then what's behind you, okay? So we want that to like turn, and we want that to pivot towards where the ball is coming from, all right? Because that's gonna in turn take us straight to the ball, but then it's gonna like make our core be engaged and our shoulders be engaged and our chest be engaged and our glutes be engaged and our back and all those things, right? So you have like a center axis, which is your spine, right? Somewhere like that, right? So essentially we want everything to work in a pivoting around that spine, right? That's why you'll see like people like Trout, right? Like that he'll have his number right here, right? And then his name on the back, right? So he'll have his number and there, and then he'll have his name on the back. And essentially what they'll do is they will switch places, right? And then his name will be there, and the Dodgers part will be in the back, right? So we want to pivot and we want to turn, right? So we want to allow our chest and our body to turn and release towards the ball, right? Because watch where we kind of release, like right here. Look, like see, you're released right here, okay? And the problem is the ball's coming this way, right? So like, and it's hard because we can't 4D it or 3D it, right? But the ball's coming that way, and we're releasing this way. So essentially we're throwing the bat almost away from it, right? Away from the ball. So we need everything to go towards the ball because then that allows us to use all our strength and all that stuff, right? So let me get a little bit closer, okay, so you can see, right? And this will help. I'll send a pro guy comparison too, just so you can have that and watch that. And there's a bunch of guys that you can watch, but I'll find one that works, right? So you see how there's just nothing, like this is barely doing anything, right? It's moving because it has to, right? Because you're moving towards the ball, but like it's not actively engaged right here, right? Like it's not even these, right? Let me go back a little bit. They're not actively engaged either. These aren't, you know, like the core isn't engaged either, right? Like it's engaged, right? But it's not actively engaged, so it's not doing it on purpose, right? It's really just as soon as the ball's coming in, right? Like you're just trying to take that bat head with your hands to the ball, which is fine, right? But we got to let our body work first, and then we let our hands go last, right? And that's very difficult, because to the brain, the only thing that can hit the ball is the bat, and the bat is in the hands, right? So it wants to do that, but we have to train our body. To let our body do what it's supposed to first, and then release the hands, right? So essentially, the swing is going to become a more of a release than actually a swing, like a bunch of effort, if that makes any sense, right? And so like we can progressively, you know, try and work on some stuff too, because I can't give you everything all at once, because like it'll just be too hard, honestly. But what I can do is I can give you some drills to kind of incorporate your body, to you know, just be able to feel that, and then you can kind of work with that, releasing towards the pitcher, and then like letting your chest, like let your chest bring the bat to the ball, let your stomach, you know, your obliques and your ab muscles and all that stuff bring the bat to the ball, instead of trying to swing, right? So then we just become a body mover, instead of having to be perfect with our swing and not hit the ball with just our forearms, right? Okay, so let me I'm gonna stop this part, and then I'm gonna send you this, and then I'm gonna send you some drills, then I'll get the pro guy thing to you as well. So I'll get those to you right here in a quick second. And also feel free that once I send this or whatever, watch it, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm totally good with that. So all right, man, hold on just a second, I'll send the other stuff.